Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you this cute little card using the new Inspiring Iris. Actually, it is new in June. It was in the annual catalog. Even though our new catalog goes live today, I still wanted to play with this Inspiring Iris stamp set. So it's got some pretty irises in here and a carnation, another pretty flower over here, and cute little font here, sending hugs, prayers, and lots of love. And I wanted to send this to somebody, so I got this stamp set out and I decided to use some colors I haven't used for a while, some purples and greens. And so I'm using Highland Heather and Pear Pizzazz as my color palette. And here we go. We're going to set this aside a second and take a look at the card base here. It's really a simple card. You've got your sentiment that peeks through here from the front of the card, and then I finished it off nicely with another label in there. I'm going to be using the Highland Heather cardstock, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, and that's just a half sheet of your cardstock, and I'm going to score it at 4.25. Okay, so then when you fold it, you'll see that we need to get this middle cut out of it. So what we're going to do is put our ink pads aside there a second. We're going to bring out our trimmer, okay? Now I kind of worked a little bit backwards on this card. I like using 1-inch strips of designer series paper because it still gives that really nice accent of the designer paper, but you get a lot more out of your cuts. And so this designer series paper that's in the Subtles family comes 6 by 6. So if I cut them in 1-inch increments, I get 6 pieces out of one sheet. So I went from that is my initial measurement. So I went up to the white to be 1.25, and then it left me with the Highland Heather being 1.5. So I wanted to take this and make it 1.5, so I made it the same up here. So I did do a card similar to this. If you look on my blog, CindyLeeBDesigns.com, underneath my photo, there's a search bar. And if you put in there, peek through the middle card, or you put in the stamp set Southern Serenade, I made one, and I did make the bottom a little bit a wider at the bottom, like deeper, bigger. This flap here was bigger because I thought it needed it for stability, but actually I liked it with the equal amount there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the card and cut this bottom 1.5 inches off. So I'm going to put my trimmer down here, and you're just going to open your card and put your left side there, your score line's over here, and you've got the 8.5-inch side up at the top. Put it up, butt it up against the side, that top guide on the trimmer, and you're going to cut off 1.5 inches. Okay, now that means we want to have only 1.5 inches at the top because this is going to be that bottom part here on the card. So I then took my card, opened it up, and I put the score line at 1.5. 1.5. right on there, and then I cut out the middle of the card. So now you can see you have this 1.5 at the top. And I'm going to pop my trimmer. Remember, we're going to be getting a new trimmer by the end of the year here, 2019. So you can see now this is going to be the part that peeks through here. And just to show you the effect of that, I'm going to go ahead and put the white in the inside, and that white is 4 inches by 5.25. Now don't worry about writing down your measurements because on my blog, CindyLeeBDesigns.com, you can just put in that search bar this stamp set, Inspiring Iris, and I'll have all the measurements for the card I made, plus with the products and how you can get to my online store if you want to pick up anything. And so just go over there and you can see all that. So this is going to be the bottom part, and now we need to hold these together. And the way I'm holding it together here is with the stitched nested labels dies. Now the ones that I used, these come with a bunch of dies here. And the ones I ended up using, if you count from the largest, this is the largest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm using the third and the fourth largest if you go down from the top. So as you can see here, I went ahead and the purple one is here. And just to finish it off and give it more stability, I put another purple one on the inside. So you've got it on both sides. But that means we need to stamp this iris here on the front of the card. So I'm going to put the big die aside because I already ha ha ha, made a mistake and cut the big one after I almost had the video done. So by the magic of television, videoing, oh golly, I already have my papers put on here. And as I said, this is 1.5, so my white was 1 1/4, and my designer paper was 1 inch. And then that meant the white was 5 1/4, and then the designer paper was 5 inches. And all I did was just layer them on the top and on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to be putting this there to hold those two pieces together. But before we do that, we want to stamp our iris. And I have to admit to you, I really wanted to stamp the black image of the outline and stamp the watercolor image inside there, and then maybe put the sentiment in black. But I was having a dickens of a time. And you know, one of those days when you're having one of those, you just have to say, no, I'm done. So I was just done with that. Did it about 4 times, and I don't know, it just wasn't my day. So what I'm gonna do is just stamp this nice watercolor image. I'm gonna ink it up here so I'm not shaking up the table. And if you look at the image on the stamp set, you'll see that there's kind of like a U up here at the flower. So I found where that was, and I knew that it's going to go towards the top right there, okay? And then I'm going to open up my Pear Pizzazz. I'm gonna move my Highland Heather away and open up the Pear Pizzazz and ink up the Pear Pizzazz. And then in the take 1 of this video, I also messed up my Pear Pizzazz. This little bulb right here goes up into the middle of the flower, and then this one kind of connects to this part of the flower. So I tried to do that. Let's see if I can get that in the middle. Like I said, it's always hard because you're in an awkward position. Okay. Press down with my Pear Pizzazz stems and leaves. Ah! See, it was worth redoing the video. Now, just to be sure, I'm going to be putting the smaller die of the two. This was the bigger one that's in front of me here, the bigger one and the smaller one. So the smaller one's going to be in the white, and I'm going to put that over here. And I was going to stamp it first. I mean, die cut first to save, you know, that you wouldn't have to listen to me big shotting, but I wanted to do the stamping first and then die cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk really loud and tell you that today the new holiday catalog goes live, and you can get all those fun fall stamps and the Christmas stamps that you've been looking at in the new catalog. And there we go. I had to get my paper piercer. So there we go. We have got this to go right there. And look how pretty that watercolor. I actually think I like it better without the outline image. It just has such a pretty look to it. So we're just going to, the thing with these stitched nested dies, they kind of have a bigger amount of clearance around the nesting on the top and the bottom than on the sides, but I'm kind of getting used to that now. Okay, so here we go. We have got, where is, oh, here it is. Ha, this was the piece I'm looking for. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to pretend that this is adhered here, okay? And we're going to adhere this to the top and to the bottom here. So I'm gonna be nice and liberal here, right almost a little bit above where you would draw a straight line there, okay? But you want to be really careful that you've got your bottom part lined up, and then you're going to place the die right with the points at the same point on each of the irises there. So now you've got that really neat die there, and we're going to pop this on the inside so that it has, and you can be really liberal with your snail now. And we're just going to put that die right there on the back side so it has a nice finished appearance there. And then we're just going to stamp our sentiment in there. And I picked sending hugs and lots of love. So we're just going to get some ink on our sentiment there, pop it right in that hole. Wonderful. And then because we have a little space up here that's covered by that top there, we just are going to put the wishing you well, wishing you the best. So we can pop that up there, and we can put another iris right here in the middle. And we just want to stamp that iris right where that die is. So just take yourself a pencil and do a little pencil mark on each side of the die. And then you know you're going to be right in between these pencil marks here. Okay, so let me just ink this up here again, just to be sure. And then we're just going to pop that iris right within those pencil marks. And then we're just going to take the stems and ink them up again in Pear Pizzazz and put our stems in there. Ooh, we got a little bit of green on there. And then we just put that bulb right up in the middle of that U and keep within the pencil marks, and we've got a beautiful stem in there. And then we just come back with our pencil and use our eraser, and make sure you're using an eraser that's not one of those old nasty erasers that's been sitting in your pencil container forever and it's all hard, and then you go to scratch it and it makes a mess. So there you have a beautiful inside and a beautiful outside. And then I knew something was missing, so I went to my Noble Peacock rhinestones. Beautiful colors in here. I just used up all of my pretty peacock on a swap card, but you got blueberry bushel and gorgeous grape and melon mambo, and this really, really pretty old olive really looks nice with the Pear Pizzazz. Had I thought about it, I probably would have changed my color out and done old olive on the card, but I thought that the rhinestones with that really nice shiny translucence there, that we can get away with mixing that old olive in there. So there you go, a really cute, really quick card. I think this really makes the difference in the inside, don't you? So if you have any questions, you can always email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. You can leave me a comment on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, because every Wednesday I have a video for you, and I post on my blog, cindyleebdesigns.com, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I hope you have fun ordering from the new catalog. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me, 724-323-2296. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.